Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's Reading the Red, this brighter and definitely warmer Tuesday morning. Wonderful day ahead of us. Mark chapter 10, verse 33. Behold, we are going up to Jerusalem, and the Son of Man will be handed over to the chief priests and the scribes, and they will condemn him to death and will hand him over to the Gentiles. Jesus and his disciples were on their way, on the road, walking to Jerusalem. And there were people following behind. And Jesus decides to pull his team together and have a chat to them. And he wants to pre-warn them, to prepare them, to give them, as it were, foresight of what is about to happen. His ability to know what was going to happen next is a form of prophetic spiritual gifting that Jesus possessed. And he reveals to his disciples on this journey up to Jerusalem in a kind of a cluster. He draws them aside and he says, look, boys, we're going up to Jerusalem and I'm going to be handed over to the scribes and the teachers of the law, and they're going to hand me over to the Gentiles. And this sense of preparation and yet willingness to carry on down that road, to know that something is going to be glorifying to God, something that's going to be necessary and yet difficult. Christians often think that God's protective arm around them means that they won't incur tribulation and suffering. But the truth is that Jesus himself learned obedience through suffering, through testing of his love for God. And there were many occasions when he found himself being challenged inside. And yet every time Jesus comes successfully through the testing. Even when the devil was trying to really rip him apart, Jesus comes through the testing. We're going to go through the testing and the tribulations and the difficulties of life. And they're all part of our refining journey. It's not that God is sending them so that we suffer. But in the context of life, life brings its own burdens and tensions and tribulations. And it's through the tribulations and the trials that we go through determines really the quality of a person we are and who it is that we are really following and who it is we are really serving. So when we learn to walk in obedience to the will of God, sometimes it will cause us difficulties. And it's through those difficult times and the success of those difficult times, because it's not just about going through difficult times, but coming through them successfully. James says it produces character. Perseverance through trial produces character. And it's the character of God, the nature of God, that God is looking to develop in those trials and tribulations. So we mustn't waste the opportunities to be transformed and changed by God just because we go through times where we don't particularly feel that great or feel very happy. Brothers and sisters, we will face trials, but we need to take advantage of those trials by allowing those trials to bring out not the worst in us, but to refine us so that we can look more and more like God and Jesus and the Holy Spirit. Thank you for joining me. Be blessed. Have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow.